Get cool stuff for what you were going to do anyway. Drink beer. With Buy Beer, Get Gear from Labatt, you can just snap a photo of your receipt and upload it to the website to rack up points for exclusive merch. Get points for every purchase, whether you're grabbing a pint on draft, a case for a party, or a tall boy at the stadium. Any size, any product, anywhere you buy Labatt. Buy beer, get gear. Sign up now at rewards.labattusa.com.
Congrats, I got you in, baby.
This is entertainment. People pay to watch this.
Pass to a cutting Hiltz. He darts in.
Oh! People actually subscribe.
All across central New York.
Time expired! Syracuse has done it!
It's Drive Time with your host, Tim Leonard.
Hey, guess what? I'm getting wide, man.
We welcome you into a Friday Drive Time. We've all made it to the weekend. Hop on in the Q Sports Talk chat and let's celebrate together. Or you can call into the show if you'd like. We can celebrate the weekend. 315-437-7644. We've made it a day closer to Syracuse basketball playing again. They're in action tomorrow. 3:30 tip. Maybe 3:30 tip. That seems generous. They're in Philly. Second game of a doubleheader from Philly. Neutral site-ish game against Drexel. About 5 minutes away from Drexel's campus, the Orange will take on the Dragons of the CAA. We'll get into my three big keys for that game tomorrow for Syracuse to do what they have been doing and do what they're supposed to do, which is beat Drexel, a team that is better than, I would say, anyone they've faced so far. Although UB got a nice win this week over DePaul. UB is just behind Drexel at last look in the KenPom rankings. This is about a 250-ish team in the country, according to KenPom, Bart Torvik, etc. The Orange about 15-point favorites is what we're expecting tomorrow for the 3:30 tip from Philly. It'll be good to see Syracuse back in Philly. I'm sure it'll be a good turnout in terms of Orange faithful, and it'll be interesting to see this team for the first time officially away from the Dome. And it'll be interesting to see if J.J. Starling plays. Seems like he probably won't be playing, but we shall see. Red Autry saying yesterday on Orange Nation, yesterday on his coach's show live from the Wildcat Pizza Pub, that he is day-to-day right now, kind of sticking with that. No real update on J.J. Starling, so we'll see if he is out there for the first time since only playing the first 3 minutes of the opening game of the season against Binghamton. Phone lines are open throughout our entire hour with you today. We'll get into some Orange football recruiting news. Calvin Russell is saying, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving. Going Wolf of Wall Street on us and saying he is definitely coming to Syracuse, which he has been saying throughout. If you've been following Calvin Russell, the 5-star wide receiver commit, I don't think you should have been worried, truthfully, that he was ever going to flip his commitment, but signing day approaching. We're a couple weeks out. December 3rd is the early signing day period, and Calvin Russell announcing to everyone once again today that he has a, quote, unbreakable bond with Fran Brown. So we can talk a little bit about Calvin Russell. We haven't really spent a ton of time on what would be a good season for Calvin Russell next year, the 5-star wide receiver commit to Syracuse. He's going to be out there next year. Wide receiver is a position that has done well when Syracuse has had a quarterback that can run the Jeff Nixon offense, and I would expect wide receiver will be a position that will thrive under a healthy Steve Angeli and hopefully Jeff Nixon offense next season. We can talk about Calvin Russell, the basketball player, a little bit as well, and what is the likelihood that he would play for the basketball team next year? Would he actually be an impactful freshman next year? What do we know about his skill set as a basketball player? So we'll talk about that some on the show today as well. Paul is in for Geo today, and Paul is in on a football Friday. So we will keep the football Friday going. We'll run you down 5 of the biggest football games this weekend, make our picks for that. So that is all ahead on the show this afternoon. 315-437-7644. If you want to chime in on the phone lines, you can call whenever you want. You can get anything off your chest in regards to Syracuse basketball, football, or otherwise. We welcome your phone calls throughout our hour with you today. But we begin the show with our Burdick BMW of Cicero opening drive. We drive in to drive time, courtesy of Burdick BMW of Cicero. And for that, we will do our 3 big keys for Orange basketball tomorrow against Drexel.
Number 1.
Biggest key in the game, and really the biggest key that we will be saying in regards to Syracuse basketball all season, you have to think about the defensive side of the ball. And I put down, keep the concentration level up defensively. Coach Autry used that word yesterday when he was on with Stephen Pauly. Concentration defensively. And I thought that was a good way to describe what we have seen through the first 2 games of the season. They're playing a different level of up-in-your-face, ball pressure, energy, intensity, and displaying a different level of all of that so far through 2 games. Drexel is a little bit tougher of an opponent, but I would like to see the Orange continue to force turnovers tomorrow, continue to get out and be able to do the things that make this team an intriguing team, which is showcasing their athleticism and getting out and running. And I've thought about this more, how I ended the show yesterday and I said the biggest stat for Syracuse basketball this season is going to be how many turnovers can they force this season. This is year 3 of the Coach Autry era. And in the first 2 years, Adrian Autry said, this is my style. This is what I want my team's identity to be. And it was some combination, to paraphrase him, of we want to get out, we want to gas out, play 40 minutes of hardcore defense, get out and run, play up tempo. We want to go 9-10 deep. We want to play tight man-to-man defense. We saw that in spurts in year 1. We've seen it in spurts here in year 3. We really did not see it, of course, last year in year 2 of the Coach Autry era when they did not have the pieces. And I think Coach Autry learned a lot from last year. And I think the way they attacked this offseason, obviously, which is now gone, and the way that they approached the offseason was, we have to get the pieces to be able to actually play my identity this year, play the style that I want. And the biggest thing is they had the resources to go out and get those pieces, and they were able to do it. So it's not as if his identity has changed here in year 3, but the way he is coaching this team, and I'm lucky and I get to go to a couple practices here and there early on in the season, they spend a ton of time on defense in practice. Probably more, I'd be willing to bet, than most teams around the country. A Syracuse practice seems to be pretty much all defense. And when Coach Autry talks about what are the keys for his team, what are the things that he wants his team to be known for this year, he pretty much always answers that question by talking about defense. And we've talked about how I don't feel great about the overall level of shooting on this team. And we go back to some of the comments I was making preseason. One of my concerns was, do you have enough shooting in the backcourt when you're talking about Nathan George and J.J. Starling? It's been nice to see Kyan Anthony is a capable scorer and shooter already at this level based on what we've seen so far. All those things can be fixed. All the concerns kind of hinge on, is Syracuse able to force turnovers defensively? And I think Coach Autry understands this is a really big year, obviously, for him to keep the job at Syracuse. And really the only way he keeps the job at Syracuse and this season is successful is if we end the year and we say, yeah, that defense improved a ton from last year and the defense was successful. And because of that, they did have an identity, and they had the identity that Coach Autry has been saying since he took over for Jim Boeheim, and it comes to fruition. It all hinges on the defense this year. And that's why they spend pretty much all of their practice working on defense. And in order for Coach Autry to be successful at Syracuse, I think the conversation around him and the reputation of Syracuse basketball, if he is still the head coach in 3-4 years from now, the only way he is still the head coach 3-4 years from now is if the reputation, the conversation around Syracuse is that's a team that's going to guard you for 40 minutes every single night. That's a team that is going to make it very difficult for you to score on them. They're athletic. They guard you tight. Their ball pressure is on a different level than other teams. They gas out. They go deep into their bench. All of those things that Coach Autry has been saying. In order for him to keep his job, they've got to do that. And that's why he is coaching them really hard defensively. And you see it in practice, and you've seen it so far in the games. He is always up on the sideline trying to get them committed defensively, because I think he knows that with a team this athletic, if they can't get out and run, they're not going to be what we want Syracuse to be this season.
Number 2.
Second big key for tomorrow, keeping in mind the opponent, keeping in mind what Drexel does well. They've got to box out tomorrow. Drexel has a very good rebounding team for the Colonial League, and they're very good at getting to the offensive glass. Drexel has been averaging 17 offensive rebounds per game to this point in the season. And Syracuse allowed 17 offensive rebounds in the last game to Delaware State. We go through the Oranges games so far this year. Buffalo, 9 offensive rebounds. Pace, 10 offensive rebounds. Binghamton, 7. Then it spiked to 17 against Delaware State. They've won the rebounding battle in every game but Pace. They cannot get beat on the glass tomorrow. That would be concerning, and that is one of the big keys tomorrow, is to prevent offensive rebounds. Before we get to key number 3, let's go to the phone lines. You can chime in at 315-437-7644. Let's go to Cavendo, who is in Syracuse. What's up, Matt?
Why are you breaking up the keys to the game for me? I was just waiting to the end. I mean, you put me on the spot now.
You're a loyal caller, Matt. You're always in the chat. We make exceptions for people we like who are always listening to the show. Yeah, how about that?
I feel blessed.
What do you got for me?
No, I'm just you're completely 100% right when you said defense is the main factor. That's all they work on. That's all they need to work on. Obviously, they can shoot and run and gun, but like we have to find ourselves being able to get in a dogfight with Houston in a couple weeks, and now's the time to get down and dirty. And I'll tell you, it's obviously the players. That the coaches are great. But I'm going to give props to the strength and conditioning coach who has really flipped the switch on this program and how they attack a workout. And he's done an incredible job. He really has. So shout out to him. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Like they're getting down and dirty. They're fighting. They're going to be defense minded. So that's all I wanted to say to you.
Yeah, I appreciate you checking in. That's Gavendo in Syracuse. He's talking about Robert Harris, the strength and conditioning coach. And I'm glad he brought that up, because that's another takeaway when you go to practices now. And when I am lucky enough to see the team at practice, or even see the team before the game, I think all of you that get to the game early have probably picked up on this as well, that there is a good amount of structure before the game. And Robert Harris is a guy that's come in and he's definitely adapted a different mindset for the team, where it sort of fits all the things that Coach Autry is trying to get out of his guys. The idea of gassing out, going 40 minutes. That all goes back to, at the start of practice, if they aren't given energy, Robert Harris is going to let them know about it, the strength and conditioning coach. So I think that's been a good hire. I think that it's little things like that where you can see that Red understands those things all matter. And he's in year 3 and he's learning. And this is all positive Red talk right now, because they really haven't played anyone to this point, and we'll see if they can translate it to legitimate teams once they do progress throughout the schedule. But they played really hard throughout the first 2 games of the season, and really hard defensively. And there's a certain level of urgency when you're around the team at practice and when you're around the team and you're seeing them in games right now, and an urgency coming from Red as the head coach that I feel like wasn't quite there in the last couple years. And it's easier to identify that stuff when you have the pieces and when you have the talent they do this year and when you're winning. Compared to last year, we did not notice it because of all those things that I just laid out weren't really there last year. But it's exciting to see that this team has the makeup to get to the identity that Adrian Autry has been trying to get to. And really, it's inexcusable if they don't get there this year, because now he's had the resources, he's had the general manager, he identified guys that he wanted with the general manager, with the coaching staff. This is year 3. If you can't have a team sort of play the identity you want by year 3, then it's understandable for the fan base to be very upset and for people to be calling in this year and saying fire Red. But it does feel like they have that identity this year. They have the ability to get to that identity. And that's what you need. All the good coaches have something that they are known for. And anytime that I look up Drexel this week, Monmouth next week, whatever team I'm looking up, it's always a good sign when you go through their history as a program, you go through what they do, and you can kind of see, oh, that's what Coach Spiker's known for. That's what Coach King Rice at Monmouth is known for. And that's what you're getting when you go against Team X. Syracuse needs to get back to kind of the same conversation that we had about Syracuse when they were running the 2-3 zone, which is when they were in their heyday, they were an up-tempo team with athletes, and Coach Autry remembers that heyday as much as anyone, and that's what he wants them to get back to, and they haven't been able to get back to that in the first 2 years. And last year especially, they were nowhere close to that team. First 2 games of this year is really the first 2 games in a while where you've sat there and said, that's a team with an identity, and that identity is starting on the defensive end, and it ties back to how they're practicing defensively and how they approach the offseason defensively and how Robert Harris is now involved and all these little things adding up to, man, maybe this could be a defense that is top 50 in the country this year. And maybe defense could be something they can hang their hat on this year. And it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep it up when they go against Drexel tomorrow, 3:30 tip. We'll get to my third key of the game as we return from our first break. We'll also get to more of your thoughts on the phone lines if you want to call in, 315-437-7644. Back with more on Drive Time here on ESPN Radio, KeySportsTalk.com.
Auburn Community.
Oh, the 2 p.m. drive time in Vegas. That's not technically drive time, but we'll allow it, Nick. Yeah, 40 minutes of hell. Maybe that'll become the slogan. King Rice and Monmouth, Monday night. Are you going to the game Tuesday? Is that what you mean, Ryan? Or? Yeah, Govindo, I will say they practice that a fair amount, too, when I'm there. I think every practice I've been to, at the end, they usually wrap up with some zone work. So, kind of surprised we haven't seen that. This is a team that could be good at zone. I mean, Sadiq, Donnie, obviously the zone hinges on athletes, and they have it. Oh, coming to the hotel. Nice, Ryan. I got you. King Rice is, yeah, we remember him well. Great player at UNC, too. What's up, Kev? Anyone making the trip to Philly? I'm assuming no. Besides Paulie. Wonder if Paulie's on cheesesteak number 1 or 2 right now. Yeah, we're not talking enough about how good Sadiq is. Sadiq is going to be really good. And he's not going to wow you in terms of his offensive production. But if you're really into defense, if you just watch him throughout a game, the way he switches onto guards and he like welcomes that switch and backs up the guards, I don't remember a guy as tall as him that can guard on the perimeter as well as he has been able to so far from what I've seen. I love the way Sadiq is in practice, too, Govendo. I mean, if you were... I said this, I think, on the air maybe before one of the games that I was doing with Coach Saddlein. If you were just randomly flying into Syracuse, you knew nothing about the team, and you went to a practice, you would think Sadiq is a senior, the way he talks, and you'd think he's like one of the vocal leaders of the team. I'm not neglecting the YouTube chat, but the YouTube chat has got to be a bot of some sort that is just spamming us with interesting thoughts. Asking about coach's protection. Oh, hi, Paul in the YouTube chat. Hi, Paul with the label Q Sports Talk in the YouTube chat. Yeah, Hidalgo's incredible. I don't know if you were listening to Orange Nation, Ryan, but we discussed that, and I looked up the most steals, getting back to the conversation of they need to get out and run, and they didn't have the pieces last year. Most steals Syracuse had in a game, men's basketball, as a team all last year was 15. Hidalgo had 16 by herself. Yeah, Hidalgo is crazy. They're going to be interesting this year, though. I think they're going to take a step back. They don't have a ton of talent around her. Obviously, no Olivia Miles. That didn't seem to work, really, the two of them. Yeah, 28 minutes, that's right.
Watch your favorite ESPN Syracuse sports talk shows on QSportsTalk.com.
We welcome you back into Drive Time. Happy Friday to everyone out there. It's happy hour on a Friday. We're all in a good mood as the weekend is near. Orange basketball tomorrow. Orange women's basketball Sunday inside the Dome. 2 p.m. start against Wagner. Crunch in town this weekend. Game against Hershey tonight. Belleville tomorrow at home. Lots going on around Central New York, and we're happy you have made us a part of your Friday afternoon here on Drive Time. Here with you every weeknight, 5 to 6 p.m. You can call in at 315-437-7644 if you want to talk any sports on your mind right now, including Syracuse basketball. If you want to dive into more of what you're looking for from the Orange tomorrow as they make the trip down to Philly today and take on Drexel at the 76ers Arena, Xfinity Center, Xfinity Arena, one of the two. It's going to be an interesting battle against a little bit better of a team than Syracuse has seen so far. Still a game that they should win by double figures. Tomorrow, 3:30-ish is the tip time on Peacock for that game tomorrow. Back to the phone lines right now where Trot in Manlius has been waiting patiently. What's up, Trot?
Not much, Tim. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
All right. I just wanted to clarify something. The speed of love is not a speed. It's 0.000 miles per hour because it's the present. You don't. So I apologize personally to people who misconstrue it. That when we hit brick walls, and I've hit brick walls in this life, I tell you, it's not because of God. It's because of something other than God. So I pray for everybody. I came full circle, Tim, in my life, and I know what it's like to hit a brick wall. I swear to you, I do.
Yeah.
So I think that I'm empathizing with everybody who's ever had that happen with them, and especially Paulie. And I've hit a brick wall and I've come back. And I pray that we can all do the same. So that's all I want to say, Tim.
That's good words of encouragement here on a Friday from Trot and Manlius. We always count on him for words of encouragement. And we could tie it back to football. I know Trot is usually throwing out the word of the week in Dart, and the football team has hit a brick wall of sorts right now. And Fran Brown has said that this will make them a better program, better team how they respond and what they show coming out of this. And these can be lessons that will apply to next year when they do hopefully have a healthy Steve Angeli for the entirety of the season. I think you have to give props to Fran Brown for how he has handled this season and how his team has played 100% effort each and every game. It's unfortunate that one injury to one position has completely derailed the season, and I think you could have separate conversations about maybe there are some lessons to be had, that they need to make sure they're ready for a backup quarterback next year, or they need to make sure that they can adapt the offense a little bit quicker, or little things that you can nitpick about. But it was a perfect storm this year, and they did hit a brick wall. And it seems like Fran Brown has kept that locker room together, and the signs of that are Demetrius Samuel has already said he plans to come back. The signs of that are Calvin Russell today, the 5-star wide receiver commit. Let's not take that lightly. The 5-star wide receiver commit to Syracuse, who everyone in America wanted it. Alabama, Michigan, Miami, etc. All the SEC schools wanted Calvin Russell. He's a top 30 player in the entire class next year, and Syracuse has got him, and he announced again today that he is definitely coming. I know there's fear out there that they were going to lose him. There's fear out there that maybe guys are going to enter the portal. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like they have the resources in place. They're all systems go for a very important year 3 under Fran Brown with a more digestible schedule, with Steve Angeli coming back, with Demetrius Samuel already saying he plans to come back, with Calvin Russell and a great recruiting class coming in, with this young team getting older, this young team that's gotten some experience here at the end of this season, played in real games. A lot of freshmen have been playing in games, and they can carry that experience into next year. We talked about year 3 for Coach Autry. Huge year. And in a different way, it's a really big year for Fran Brown. I'm not saying he's on the hot seat, of course. Far from it. And that's crazy if you actually feel that way right now based on how this year has gone. It's unfortunate when you look at the win-loss record, but I've said this from the outset of really the Steve Angeli injury, that this could be kind of a blessing in disguise, that Fran Brown might be more likely to stay at Syracuse for year 3 and not be getting attention from the wild coaching carousel this year. And there could be some lessons he learns from this. There could be some teaching points and things that he files away. And he's already tinkering with the offensive staff and trying to figure out, are they going to see better results in the last couple of games of this season? Because he knows next year he doesn't want to tinker with anything next year. He just wants to win and get back to winning. And he's very confident in the talent that they are bringing in. And I'm very confident in him and what he is going to do in the recruiting trail and what he's already done in the recruiting trail and how he's going to keep this thing together in terms of what the portal will offer for Syracuse and what they will lose and what they will gain this year. I think they'll have a good portal season. And I think they know they probably need to do a little bit better in the portal than they did last year. And there's only one portal window this year. They got a lot of their really talented portal guys, Chris Peel being one of them, who I've shouted out a lot on this show. They got a lot of those guys in the spring. I mean, of course, Steve Angeli. Think about if the spring portal wasn't around this past year, we'd be singing a different tune if Ricky Collins was the starter the entire year. Then it'd be concerning, and the level of concern over does this offense work without Kyle McCord will be in a different light. We've seen it work with Steve Angeli, small sample size, but we saw it really start to work in that Clemson game with Steve Angeli. So at least we have confidence that it's not so much an offensive issue or a coaching staff issue, but it's more there was a big drop-off at the quarterback position. But that being said, they don't get do-overs in the spring portal this time around. And maybe the idea of last couple games of the season, he doesn't have to be crunching film as much on Notre Dame maybe, and he could be focused on other film, on portal guys that might be out there, and maybe prepare himself so that they're ready to strike like other teams might not be come the January portal and the only portal that is around for college football this year. My final key of the game before we bring in Paul for our Football Friday, getting back to basketball, 3:30 tip tomorrow against Drexel. Final key I wanted to mention.
Number 3.
Number 3 on our keys is the Orange need to not settle for threes tomorrow. We saw at the start of the game against Delaware State, they were jacking up a lot of threes, and I didn't love the way that they came out and looked in the half-court offense. And I think this game tomorrow, well, they're not going to have to play a ton of half-court offense in a perfect world, and I'm not necessarily thinking it'll be a very close game or it'll be at Drexel's pace. They're still going to have to play more half-court offense than what we've seen so far. And Drexel's the type of team that has really struggled to guard the three. And they collapse on you in the paint quite a bit. And they kind of almost dare you to shoot threes in a way. I don't want Syracuse, even though they can make more threes, and even though they have a guy like Nate Kings that I want to get looks, and yes, there are some instances where I feel like they're going to have a couple guys step up, a Kyan Anthony and Nate Kings, and make multiple threes in a game. I kind of want Syracuse to live this year in what they were in that Delaware State game where they were 8 for 21 from three. That's 38% roughly. I think attempting 20, 21, 22 threes, about what they've attempted throughout the year, is fine. I just don't want to see them settling for threes once the defensive opposition is tougher. Once it's tougher to get dribble penetration, tougher to get inside, and the shot clock's becoming a factor. Sometimes I feel like a lot of their offensive plays in practice and stuff are setting up guys for three, like a Donnie Freeman pick and pop type of play. I want Donnie Freeman to go right to the basket against Drexel. I want Sadiq White to go right to the basket against Drexel. Sadiq White attempting 2 or 3 threes is exactly what Drexel wants, I'd say. Donnie Freeman, when you look at his stats this year, he's been very efficient in 2-point range. He hasn't been that efficient from 3-point range. I know Donnie can make an open three. I'm fine with him taking the open threes, but I don't want Donnie Freeman jogging down the court and thinking, I'm going to pull up for 3 here. I want his first priority, which it has been throughout much of this season. It's maybe underrated how good Donnie's been playing. His first priority should be going to the basket against teams like this, especially. He can go for 20 easily if he is going to the basket against Drexel, going to the basket against the teams that are on the schedule like Monmouth to come after Drexel and the teams we've seen so far. So let's not settle tomorrow. Just because Drexel's a vulnerable team 3-point defense-wise, Syracuse has to maintain that same type of aggressiveness they've had in the first 2 games and still need to maintain that as the competition gets tougher. We'll work in a timeout. Paul will join us next for Football Friday. You're listening to Drive Time on ESPN Radio, QSportsTalk.com.
This is Orange.
Ooh, Counting Crows versus OAR? Good question, Spatching the Waves. Probably like them equally. I would say OAR is a much more impressive live act than Counting Crows, but they're in the same family of bands that I really enjoy listening to. Not like, I don't know, they're probably like in the top 5 of my all-time bands, but not like top 3 maybe. Did I say college football playoff? No, I'm kidding. Philly's most wanted. I think next year is a big year, and I think they will have a good season. I'm very confident in Fran next year. Yeah, the Philly squad runs deep, really. Trevor Cooney's from like outside of Philly, right? Yeah, Trot's bringing encouragement. We'll give him that. I don't know what he meant by Paulie, or that was an interesting call. But the overall message, if you're going to come on the show and bring positivity, we're not going to shy away from that. I don't know, Sport Boy. I don't like how much players have been moving locations, though. Isn't that partially why they're doing it? They don't want guys just like totally disregarding school and just bouncing school to school. It's a tough spot. Yeah, OAR is kind of the poor man's DMB. I would agree with that. They're very much, I think they used to open for DMB. They're very much like following the same blueprint. And I would say if you like DMB, you probably would like OAR too. You have been calling it Philly's Most Wanted. I'll give you that. If it happens, you're like Paulie, 40%. Yeah, I've got to wear my jacket. It's freezing. I don't get it. Whoa.
Whoa.
Just broke the chair.
The chair has broken.
Oh, the Counting Crows were on Howard? Did they do any live songs or covers or anything? Check that out.
Is there an ending? Is that still a rumor?
Yeah, that would be a good question. Kev seems like he listens. I don't know. I think it is ending, right, Kev?
I saw his contract was up at the end of this year, and they weren't going to renew it. But then ever since then, I haven't seen
Paulie just texted me, what happened today with Trot? Someone is telling him.
it. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Probably going to fight with the most wholesome man and manliest. The most positive man and manliest.
Yeah, I don't really know. I think he was upset with Paulie for like his speed of love comment, but I don't think Paulie wasn't like dishing on Trot, so I'm not really sure. They got beef. Maybe they'll iron it out Monday.
They should do it during the Fran Brown show.
Right.
That's when they should do it.
That would be interesting for Coach Brown to witness.
Coach Brown could be the intermediate there.
Mm-hmm.
Park could be like the...
Oh, nothing's final with Stern. They're in negotiations.
Okay.
Kev says he's on vacation.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did Counting Crows play live music, or was it like just an interview? Yeah.
Zoinks.
Sorry, I didn't even have your mic up.
Oh,
Paul is here,
everybody.
I Paulie.
Yeah,
Paul.
there goes the no hitter.
Yeah.
During the break, you screwed up the
I throw a no hitter every day, and I don't ask for flowers. Paulie has thrown one no hitter in the history of running the board, probably ever, which is concerning.
He makes no hitters look very rare.
Yeah. This is the up-tempo type of energy we need as we roll into the weekend. Welcome back into Drive Time. Anytime we roll into the weekend, Friday afternoon show, it means we've got to do a little of our Football Friday where we go over the 5 big games we're most interested in football-wise this weekend. And for that, we've got Paul sitting in for Gio today. And for that, Paul, we've got to cue up the fancy music. I don't even know if you knew this comes with
I have no
that.
idea this comes with music.
Oh, it's the music.
This is
the NFL
this
music.
This is my childhood. This is our childhood.
This is everyone's
This
childhood.
is everyone's childhood.
Yeah.
It's very true. This is timeless.
All right, Paul. Throw at me what you got for the games this week.
Let's start a game that could decide a division. Rams Seahawks.
Yes.
Rams
two
favorite.
7-2 teams.
2 7-2 teams. Rams favorited at 3.5.
Okay.
I have the Seahawks.
Is this game in LA?
No.
Ooh, they're road favorites. Interesting.
No, sorry, it is in LA. Yes, my apologies. Yes, because Seahawks are 4-0 on the road this year.
Really?
And Sam Darnold is playing like an MVP. He very well might be the MVP. I think it's a Jonathan Taylor year, but they didn't give it to Saquon last year, so it's going to a quarterback. Drake May could get a shout.
What about the Rams quarterback, Matt Stafford?
Nah, it's just...
Isn't he the odds-on favorite right now?
I believe he is. I just don't... I think it's a more Drake May, Sam Darnold type year. Matt Stafford, though, did just get to 500 for his career. That's how bad the Lions were.
I was thinking about this last night. I was watching the Patriots game with some friends. As you know, I'm a Patriots fan. Drake May has been terrific. Drake May was getting MVP chance once again last night. Some of my friends were like, MVP? What the heck? I'm like, he's tied for the odds-on favorite right now.
I mean, he's like, I don't know. I know like Jaden Daniels with the best rookie year. I don't know about second years, but this is definitely recency bias because it's this season. Drake May's having the best second year of anybody I can remember.
But I do think it's very schedule inflated for him.
But he's still making the throws.
He is.
I mean, Vrabel's got them humming.
I feel like there's been a little bit of luck in terms of he's got the right offensive coordinator. He's got the right schedule. Even last night, he throws a couple deep balls, and I'm like, oh, that could have been picked, but it wasn't. It's just everything's kind of fallen into place. But he's had a great year. I'm not here to, minimize what Drake May has done.
What your quarterback is doing?
I think Matt Stafford is probably a better overall quarterback this season than Drake May, though.
You think?
Yeah.
Because I'm putting Sam, I think it's May, Darnold. Really, I think it's Jonathan Taylor.
I can't get there with Darnold. I think I'm scarred from last year with the playoffs. That's how I feel about Daniel Jones and the Colts right now.
Yeah,
I feel like they're going to be like the Vikings last year.
That's kind of where I'm a hypocrite because it's like Case Keenum. You remember when Case Keenum, the 13-3 year, was like, oh my God, for the Vikings?
Yeah.
I feel like that's Daniel Jones this year. But then for Sam Darnold, I think it's different. So I'm a bit all over the place with this. But I don't know, 4-0 on the road. Their defense has only given up 20 or more points 3 times. They've won 2 of those games. Mm-hmm. They've won 7 of 8. Something about this Seahawks team, if they're going to be good, they have to be good on the road because they travel the most out of any team in the NFL every year. They're the furthest team away. I just see that with this team. I don't see them as being, I don't even know if they'll win a playoff game. I don't know if I'll go that far. But in this game, and how they're playing right now, and how Jackson Smith-Njigba is the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Incredible.
By a long shot.
I'm taking the Rams.
You're taking the Rams?
Who you got?
See,
Seahawks?
I had the Rams, and I started looking at it, and I was like...
And now you just want to be contrarian. You want to go against me, don't you?
That's half of it.
Okay.
Just going against you, yeah.
All right, take the Seahawks.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I'm going Seahawks.
These literally mean nothing. We haven't tracked the record all year, so no one will even know who
this
you
means
took.
everything. Do you hear the music? This means everything, Tim Leonard.
Just for personal bragging rights. I'll give you a firm handshake on Monday if you beat me.
High five?
No, that's better. A handshake, like a nice, solid. This isn't going to be a dead fish. This is going to be a solid handshake.
All right, as long as it's not lumpy.
It might even be like sort of a pat on the back as I'm doing it. That's when you've got a really solid handshake.
All right. I'll take
someone that kind of grabs the left elbow as. Okay, I'll shut up.
You've tricked me now.
Yeah. What's your next game?
Packers Giants.
Another good one.
I'm only picking this because Jameis is starting.
Yeah.
And
another intriguing one, I should say.
Yeah, I don't know if it's
off
good.
The firing, yeah.
LaFleur with all the rumors coming out about how his job security, which blows my mind because
that's wild.
Yes, they have fallen apart a bit in the playoffs, but in terms of regular season, he's been one of the best coaches the last 4 or 5 years in the regular season.
Yeah.
He's developed Jordan Love. I get there's been ups and downs. Right now it's a down. He's still the Packers have had 3 straight quarterbacks now that look like franchise guys. How many teams get that? And so it's just the Giants have nobody except Jameis and his pregame speeches and eating the dubs,
are awesome.
Which are awesome. And
singing Hamilton.
I don't know. I just something about Jameis. I just have a feeling. The Packers are favored at 6.5, as they should be.
I think the Packers are going to cover that.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But
this game's in New York, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Packers will cover. Jameis, I'm so happy to have him back in our lives playing quarterback because of what Jameis brings. I'm kind of changing my mind mid-thought here, though, because the first game after a coach gets fired, the whole rallying cry.
Jameis is leading the rallying.
Yeah, give me the Giants to
cover.
There's
a reason they're not starting
at home.
Yeah. If it's Russell Wilson,
Packers
Daboll ain't
defense
fired.
is good, though.
It's good, but if it's Daboll, it's Russell Wilson. I genuinely think the reason Kafka's going with Jameis is because the head coach just got fired, and who's going to fire up the team more?
Yeah.
Jameis.
No, I think they're going to buy into new regime. It just happens that way a lot.
I have
First game
no
after
stats to
firing.
back that up other than Jameis will just be a gunslinger, but that's just my thought process.
It's probably going to go terribly wrong or incredibly great. So I'll just play the fun side. Incredibly great
We're
from
going to look
Jameis.
very smart come Monday.
Of course.
I promise you. And then the last game, let's go Bills-Bucks.
Okay.
Just because, the Bills coming off
Bills need it.
one of the worst losses in recent memory for them, for being honest. First time shut out, I think, in the first half since 2021.
Bills at home, 1 p.m. start. Bucks are really banged up right now. Is Bucky Irving coming back?
I haven't seen.
Okay.
I think he's questionable, whatever that means these days.
I think the Bills, I don't really love them long term, but I do think they're going to figure it out in terms of they'll go into the postseason as one of the top 4 favorites in the NFL, I'd say. Right now, they're what? They probably are still top 4, but they're not talked about right now as a true Super Bowl in the mix contender.
The thing is, in a weird way, I'd still put the Chiefs top 4. Until I'm disproven.
That's a good question. Who's your top 4 right now?
Who's my top? I mean, I'm putting Chiefs, Bills, because I look at the Chiefs as like the dynasty Patriots.
Yeah.
Until you prove me wrong, I'm not going to pick
Are you
against
going
them.
Seahawks, Rams, Packers?
I just said I don't believe in Daniel Jones, but I believe
Lions.
I believe in the Colts offense and defense as a whole.
You can't. You're putting the Colts top 4?
I believe in Jonathan Taylor, and I believe in that offensive line.
I can't get there with the Colts
and then
top
I'll go
4.
Lions.
I think you would have to lean more on who has done it in the postseason to this point. Which quarterbacks have done it?
I can get that. Yeah, then because Goff though then really hasn't, but Stafford has. So then
But
throw the
they've
Rams.
been there.
They've been there, done
Yeah.
that in a way.
Like Daniel Jones. I mean, again.
So not the Patriots though.
No, I
Not
can't.
yet?
I think they're a year away.
Okay.
I think right now the Patriots are definitely a playoff team. I think they've been very impressive. I'm not trying, but the schedule plays a big part. I mean, look at the Eagles' schedule and then look at the Patriots. Like the Eagles
we
have.
haven't even mentioned them in the top 4.
Yeah, and the Eagles have the Lions again this week. They just play the
playing
toughest
everybody.
schedule ever.
They're playing everybody and they're winning.
Yeah.
I don't care how they're winning because people want to. They're winning.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I forgot about the Eagles. Maybe because Hurts won a Super Bowl, coming off a Super Bowl. Sorry.
Let's see what the Super Bowl odds are right now.
It's
as
got to
I
be
pull
Eagles
them
number
up.
1.
Chiefs are number 1 still.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, plus 500. Eagles plus 700. Rams plus 700, tied for second with the Eagles. Lions, Seahawks, Bills in the next group. Colts, Packers. What about the Ravens? The Ravens are 14-1 with Lamar back.
Yeah, that's the thing. They go on a run and all of a sudden their start of the season was so bad, but at the end of the day, it was still so early. It doesn't matter.
So Bills right now are the 6th best odds. I would say at the end of the regular season, they're back in the top 4.
Oh, I think they're top 3.
Maybe top
honest.
3. But I still don't think they win the Super Bowl. I think they have too many issues.
I think it's the Chiefs. I really do. Yeah.
Chiefs got a tough game this week, too.
It's the Patriots for
Broncos, right? Yeah.
You get them in the playoffs, and Mahomes is going to, you know what I mean? He doesn't lose. I get he lost last year, but
it's hard to bet against them.
Yeah.
I just don't want it. That's not what my heart wants.
It's not what my heart wants either, but
I think the Bills win that game by like 10, though.
My heart,
pick.
honestly, Bills are favored at 5.5, by the way.
Yeah.
My heart, honestly, for the Super Bowl is the Patriots, just because I just want to see.
That's truly where my heart is, too.
I just want to see everybody fall apart again and get pissed off, and that's what.
Can you imagine the Titans fans? Like, why do we fire Vrabel? All right, give me one more. We're running out of time.
All right, real quick, we'll do UVA Duke.
Okay.
Just because that's
huge ACC battle.
Huge ACC battle. I mean, if Duke wins, they're 5-1 in the conference.
Sad.
It's like Tim and I were talking about this before the show. There's a chance a 4-loss ACC team is playing in the college football playoff.
Well, if Duke wins the league, it then becomes Duke against 2 group of 5 teams. You got to take 2 of the 3.
Yeah.
It's scary to think that Duke could still win the league and have a black hole of a resume in the non-con of losing at UConn, getting worked by Illinois, losing to Tulane. Tulane's pretty good, but that's not a good look for the ACC. They do not want to. And then they also don't really want Virginia to win this game because if Virginia wins, and it seems like Chandler Morris is going to play.
Yeah, I think he's going to play. I have Virginia winning because I think he's going to play.
Yeah, it's at Duke.
That offense last week, when I forget the backup's name, when he came in, it fell apart for UVA. They couldn't move
a backup quarterback?
I know.
And
Who
they
would have
struggled?
Thought? Who would have thought?
That's interesting.
Isn't it weird?
Syracuse isn't the only team in the country?
Backup quarterbacks are backups for a reason, Tim.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? You don't have, by the way, like music to go. You don't have Card Sharks or something like that?
No, I mean, we went long. That's usually like a good indication. All right, we got to wrap it up when it ends. It was a good time, though, Paul.
It was a good time.
You did well.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah. We're in our final break. We're back with more on Drive Time.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle.
You did well.
I completely forgot about the Eagles in the top 4. They got to be in there.
Yeah.
You can't.
And their schedule's so
It's just
tough.
like, it's weird. Like, because the Chiefs are so good that I don't forget about them, but the Eagles are now so good that I just forget about them, and then they're just there because they're, I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, top 4. Yeah, I guess get rid of the Colts, but the Eagles. I don't know. I want the Colts just also
Let's
for the,
see.
because I'm a Commanders fan.
Chad is saying Rams. I guess they're picking the Rams.
You're going
Bills
Rams.
could lose. Giants to cover. I like it, Kev. That's what we were saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did we agree on all the picks? I didn't even really make a Duke Virginia pick. I guess I'd say Duke still.
Duke. I just had, because I think Chandler Morris is well, of course he's but I think he's better than Mensa, and I think that offense will.
You do?
Yeah.
I think Mensa's, well,
I think
Morris
they
is
overpaid.
good.
I think they overpaid for Mensa. I've always thought
Mensa
that.
didn't look great last week, but
I've always thought that, but at the same time, I get why they did it.
yeah, they overpaid, but also
If
you're ever
going to
overpay, it's a quarterback.
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
Yeah.
And he has been a difference maker for them. I wonder, because they were
the Monday
what?
night game's not great, Kev.
No, the Monday
I think
night
you're a
game is
Cowboys fan, but
crap. It's like the 9:30 Sunday morning game, Kev. As a Commanders fan, that is crap.
where is that this week? Madrid. Right? Yeah.
Could you imagine going to Spain and watching Dolphins Commanders?
You imagine going to Miami as a Central New York fan and watching Syracuse and the Bills lose badly?
No, but it's like I'm telling Tim this. This is why I hate how everyone loses their mind over the schedule. Like the schedule release, everyone goes nuts for it, and it's just like, why? Like the Commanders were put on primetime every week from like week 4 to the end of the season.
Yeah.
See how that's worked out.
Now they can flex some of them though, right?
They haven't yet. We play Christmas we host the Cowboys on Christmas. Think about how crap
really?
that's gonna be. We play on the 20th, Saturday against the Eagles. December 20th. We're prime time on the 20th. Like, it's just gross what they've.
Yeah, it's just chalk it up as just a year from hell for the Commanders. They'll be back now. It's kind of like Hughes. They'll be back next year.
Yeah,
I think.
well, you say that. Bobby Wagner's 80. Zach Ertz is 80.
Jaden Daniels is still good, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
you
good,
still
but
like him.
Devo's a free agent.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that.
Von Miller's gonna be 87.
You got a franchise quarterback.
Yeah,
that's
which
the nice thing.
is more
like that's how I feel about the Patriots right now. We have a franchise quarterback.
Yeah,
That's
you're
more
not
than a
allowed
lot
to
of
complain.
teams can say.
You're not allowed to complain.
Well, you're not either.
Who was my franchise quarterback outside of Robert Griffin III for one?
Oh, I get what you're saying. Like
Jason
before this,
Campbell?
but I'm saying right now.
Yeah. No,
Would you
I
rather
know.
have May than Daniels?
No.
Yeah.
But I can see why people would.
Redrafting that draft, would you go?
Oh, I think May goes number 1
over Daniels.
Mm-hmm. Right now,
But you
last
just
year,
said you'd
yeah, I
rather
know.
have
But
Daniels.
last year at this time, Daniels would go number 1.
All right, I'm asking you.
Me? All right. Then number 1.
Daniels.
Yeah. Then May.
Would you go Caleb over? You got to go Caleb. Who else is Bo Nix?
I'm going Bo above Caleb.
What if we could include Jackson Dart, even though he's from a different draft? Would you go Dart?
I was always high on Dart. I don't know why. I just liked him. I would go Dart over Nix and Caleb Williams.
Dart. Yeah.
I would.
I think I would do the same.
Especially because Bo Nix has struggled
Caleb
massively.
Did have some nice moments last week, but
he's played well this year. He's grown. You can tell he's grown.
has.
Ben
It's
Johnson
just-
has done stuff.
Yeah, you got Ben Johnson, and he's still like, I don't know. It doesn't.
He seems like a
he
rich
looks a
man's.
little panicky sometimes in the pocket still.
He looks like a rich man's Justin Fields to me.
Yeah,
Better
that's not what you
arm,
want.
But like, he's grown.
He can make all the throws, and sometimes you're like, yeah, but I just want you to like
Dump
go
it
through your
down.
progressions and
Yeah.
hit the easy one and not get sacked.
I feel like Brett Favre ruined that for a lot of people. Because he would just I mean, that's why he's the gunslinger. But then a lot of people are like, oh, I can do that. It's like, you're not. Like, there's one dude. But, all right, well. Oh,
Well, that's been a Football Friday.
that was fun, Tim Leonard.
That was a blast, Paul McCoy. No.
Watch live on QSportsTalk.com.
Final segment of the week here on Drive Time. Couple shout outs to hand out before we wrap up the show for the week. We'll be back tomorrow, though, in a way. We've got an hour pregame, maybe longer than an hour pregame for basketball, because we'll go on at 2:30, and I'll hang with you guys until tip time, which maybe I shouldn't commit to that, because that could be like a 4 p.m. tip based on how these doubleheaders usually go. But don't forget to tune in tomorrow, ESPN Radio, QSportsTalk.com, for our pregame coverage of Orange basketball from Philly against Drexel. I'll be here in Syracuse, but the game will be in Philly. And then I'll be right back here after the game. We'll be taking your phone calls, and we'll have a good old time on the post-game show right after the final buzzer tomorrow, Syracuse and Drexel. Shout-outs for this evening. Shout-out to the field hockey team. They just won in overtime under an hour ago against number 6 Liberty in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Won 3-2 in overtime, so their season advances to the second round. Won that game in Princeton. Great win for the Orange field hockey team, so big shout-out to them. I was going to say shout-out to men's soccer, and then you guys were probably going to laugh because it didn't go great last night, but they had a great run in the ACC tournament. They lost last night 5-1 to SMU from my hometown in Cary. Good news is, I looked this morning on the RPI metrics. They only dropped one spot. They're 32 on RPI. If you're in the top 40, you feel very good about making it to the NCAA tournament in men's soccer. So they should safely be in the tournament. And shout out to a sneaky, pretty good college basketball weekend. We just talked a lot about the football games on tap this weekend. Some intriguing games for the ACC as they look to build on a pretty good start to the year. You've got Clemson tomorrow at noon on the road at Georgetown. Clemson 4-point favorites in that one. That game also on Peacock tomorrow. So if you bought Peacock just for this week to watch Syracuse, you can also watch that game tomorrow and maybe justify your purchase or your 1 month or your free trial, whatever you did. Clemson at Georgetown, noon tomorrow. Butler at SMU is an intriguing game for the ACC. SMU at home is 5-point favorites. That's 2 p.m. tomorrow. And then a game that I will be watching closely on Sunday, and you should too as a Syracuse basketball fan. Houston, basically a pseudo road game at Auburn in a way because it's in Birmingham. Houston, Auburn, top 20-ish, top 25 battle. And Houston, of course, is going to be the first big opponent on the Orange schedule. Auburn is also a part of that Vegas tournament, so really could be 2 Syracuse opponents there battling. That's 3 p.m. on Sunday on ESPN. Miami is at number 10 Florida Sunday night, 8:30 tip-off on ESPN in basketball. Number 10 Florida just barely got by Florida State earlier in the week, and Miami think has a much better team, new head coach. We'll see how they hold up against 10th ranked Florida. They are 9-point underdogs at number 10 Florida, the defending national champs, on Sunday night, 8:30 tip-off for that one. That is our show for the week. Thanks to all of you for hanging out in the Q Sports Talk chat. Thanks to everyone who called in throughout the week, and thanks to Paul, our producer, and Gio for producing throughout much of the week as well. We'll talk to you tomorrow for pregame and postgame of basketball. Orange women's hoops in action Sunday. You can listen to that game on our airwaves Sunday, 2 p.m. as they take on Wagner. And I'll be back for another drive time, 5 to 6 p.m. next Monday. Until then, enjoy the weekend, everyone.
This is Orange.